Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So in my Game of Thrones episode 7 video, I asked you to submit all of your questions, so I picked 10 of them to answer in this video with one bonus question. Also, big congratulations to Leslie Hernandez. You are this week's random giveaway winner. You win a $20 Amazon gift card. I'll be reaching out to you on your channel for details. If you're finding me for the first time, I do Q&As like this for all my biggest stuff, like Game of Thrones, and anything else you guys just want to spend more time talking about based on the videos that I do. So be sure to subscribe to get everything, and feel free to leave me suggestions for future bonus videos. After I do questions, I'll talk a little bit about what my schedule is going to be like this week. It's going to be just a little bit weird. But let's talk about some Moondor. So careful for spoilers from the episode if you haven't seen it yet. But question number 1. Sarah asks, what do you think Melisandre will do with Stannis' daughter? I don't remember that from the books. So I think that she's just going to try and sacrifice Shireen to gain some sort of power. It seems like her using royal blood makes her spells much more powerful. Like whenever she used Stannis to make the Shadow Baby, she probably couldn't have done that with any normal person. It had to be someone with royal blood. The show doesn't really explain why, only that royal blood is special in the eyes of the Red God. The way I think about it is like a cleric prays to their god, and their god grants them power for a short amount of time. I kind of think that's what the relationship between Melisandre Thoros and the Red God is. It's not like sorcery, where you just get your powers from a mystical place or through the use of spells and incantations. As for what kind of spell she's going to try and cast, I think she's just going to try and make their army stronger. Question number 2, Pizza Dalek asks, that's an awesome name. I think Littlefinger kissed Sansa because he knew Lysa was watching and it was all part of some big scheme. So, you are part right, he kissed her for a whole bunch of reasons. Partly because he was working a long con to get rid of Lysa, and she was just a means to an end. Sansa was the kiss. But he also has really conflicted feelings about her. He said it all in the speech there, he kind of laid it out. She is, for him, several things. The daughter he never had, and a much more beautiful version of the only woman he ever loved. So he's part sentimental, part creeper. Kind of all things at the same time. As for how Sansa feels about all this, I'd say she's just shocked and doesn't know what the hell's going on. Remember, she's still shedding a lot of her innocence. She's still kind of learning to be a pessimist like everyone else on the show. So she has no idea what's going on with Littlefinger's plan to get rid of Lysa. Question number 3, Kirsten Knightley asks, why did Daenerys let the Masters keep their power and wealth? Yeah, she really made it seem like she just crucified X number of Masters for the X number of slaves that they killed. But I think she's just giving them a choice. I think the show is going to explain a little bit more about her relationship with the rest of the slaving families in Meereen. She's currently the power in the city, so a lot of them are just sucking up to her like sycophants and King's Landing do with the Iron Throne. She really did kill a lot of them though, but all of the slaving families have sons like Hisdar, so killing their fathers just means the sons will take over. So if she really wanted to get rid of slaving completely, she'd have to kill all the families, like everyone in the family, which is way more people, and as much of a badass as she is, I don't think she's prepared to murder that many people. She's just giving them the choice, you know, accept my new terms or die in my new world, like she said in the episode. Question number 4, Rel Larone asks, do you think we'll see Gendry this season? I certainly hope so. There was actually something Joe Dempsey, the actor that plays Gendry, posted on Twitter. He was just thanking, you know, everyone for all the awesome people he got to work with this year, and one of them was Maisie Williams. I think it's okay to assume he was talking about Game of Thrones because the only other project on Maisie Williams' IMDb page does not list Joe Dempsey as a cast member. So it's more likely that he just has a greatly reduced role. Remember, the last time we saw him, he was rowing for King's Landing from Dragonstone, so it's possible that he could have been picked up by a ship, or he really will make it back to King's Landing. His character is one of the ones they've changed the most from the book, so I don't want to make too many predictions, but I do think we'll see him at least a little bit before the end of the season. Question number 5, Bloody Desires asks, did Brienne choose to follow Pod's suggestion about Sansa being with her aunt? Yes, it was really subtle, so it was kind of hard to tell, but they are headed for the Vale. I don't think it will be as simple as them just finding Sansa at the Vale. That seems too nice of an ending for Game of Thrones, so I'm planning on something really, really bad happening on their journey. Either they'll run into the Brotherhood and someone dies, or they run into Arya and the Hound and someone dies. Either way, it's Game of Thrones, so someone's probably going to die. Question number 6, Declan asks, could you explain who Lolly Stokeworth is? So I did see a bunch of people asking about Lollies in the comments, because she was a character from the books that was cut out of Season 2. She's a minor character from King's Landing. In Season 2, when all the peasants rioted and tried to kill Joffrey, in the books, her character is brutalized by the mob. She's from a noble house, but after the mob attack, no one wants to marry her. She's like a young person. So cut to Tyrion's trial this season. Cersei tries to win over everyone, and when she comes to Bronn, she offers him a title and a castle and a marriage to Lollies. So Bronn is marrying into money, and as you can see, he's not really picky about women. So the show basically just included her as like a minor footnote, because in the books, Bronn really does end up marrying Lollies. Like, that's how he gets his title. Question number 7. Nicholas asks, what was the Mountain doing with all those guys? He was just executing them for petty crimes. Like, normally you would just lock people up. The Mountain was just slaughtering them like cattle though. The reason it's so terrible is because they probably just committed really minor crimes. The Mountain is like a crazier version of Sir Ilan Payne. Payne is the king's executioner, but he has scruples. The Mountain is who you call whenever you want someone killed, no questions asked. He's like a fixer for Tywin Lannister. He just makes problems go away, no questions asked. So they also wanted to show just how dangerous he is. Question number 8, Nathan asks, why do Lysa and her son seem to have years of interbreeding in their blood? So that's actually kind of funny, because even in real life, all royals have like a certain minor level of interbreeding going on, because there's not that many royals to pick from if you want to get married and you want to keep your blood very royal. Like, over the course of centuries, all the royal families everywhere end up being at least a little bit related to each other at a blood level. But Lysa is a Stark, she's not really born of incest or anything, and she wasn't related to Jon Arryn when they were married, so technically Robin isn't a twincest baby like Joffrey, he's just super nutters. In the books, Tyrion actually describes Lysa as being touched, as in she's just super crazy in the head, which is why I think Littlefinger has had such an easy time manipulating her over the years, although I'm sure he has had a role in making her even crazier, like he's pushed her over the edge, literally this time. Question number 9, Ashley asks, could you explain Oberyn's speech about baby Tyrion more? So Tyrion is several years younger than Oberyn, Jaime, and Cersei. Like, Oberyn, Jaime, and Cersei are all about the same age, so whenever they were all really young and Tyrion was in the process of being born, Oberyn just happened to be visiting Casterly Rock. While they were on their way, Tyrion was born and his mother died, so everyone at Casterly Rock, including Cersei, started telling stories about Tyrion being a monster and killing their mother. They don't really explain Cersei's thought processes a lot, other than she decides to put all of her negative feelings about her mother dying on Tyrion. She just blames him. Jaime does not. So Oberyn goes to see Tyrion in his cradle, and just like Jaime, decides that Tyrion is not a monster at all. He's just a little baby. So they're just trying to show how Oberyn has compassion where Cersei does not. Question number 10, Nick asks, do you think that Bran would ever be able to warg into one of Daenerys' dragons? So they don't explain the science of warging too much, but they imply that it has a lot to do with the mental fortitude of the vessel. So it would be a lot harder for Bran to warg into a person of like normal intelligence, as opposed to Hoarder, who has a much more primitive brain. So it all depends on how smart Daenerys' dragons are. They seem like they're a lot more powerful than direwolves, so I think Bran would have to get a lot more powerful. Like learning to use the Force more as a Jedi. You know, you have to go through Jedi training before you can fight the Emperor and Vader. You know, just because he can warg doesn't mean he's automatically an expert at it. And one last bonus question. Bombay Theme asks, what did Daenerys mean whenever she told Jorah to tell Daario that he changed her mind? That the new followers, the new slaves that she had taken on, would just view that as more brutality and they would rise up against her. So his idea was to at least give them the choice to accept Daenerys' terms. And Daenerys was kind of throwing him a bone by telling him to tell Daario that he had changed her mind. I think she feels a little bit guilty about favoring Daario now, especially now that she's having sex with him, whenever Jorah has been so loyal to her for so long. So she's just kind of showing him that she hasn't forgotten about him completely. So thank you so much everyone for submitting questions. These are always a ton of fun to do. Remember, there is no new episode this next weekend, but I'll be doing a bonus video anyway. Be sure to subscribe to get it. Also, if you guys want, I'll do another Q&A too. Just let me know in the comments. I will be traveling from Thursday through Sunday, so I'll probably only post like one video a day each of those days, but I'll be posting updates on social, so links for all those accounts in the description below. Right now, you can actually click here to get my episode 7 video, and you can click here to learn all about the wildlings. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tonight. High fives.